Wide Family Farm presents The Poop Troop. KK, Yosie in the Simple Kitchen, King Poobah, Where to Begin Homestead, Erica, Chris Wyatt, Africa, Ariel Viking Ventures and Victorials, Julie Clippin, Red Silo Homestead, Black's Tropical Homestead, Batman Prepper, CB, Ginger Ninja, Bigfoot Walking, Klingon Princess, Cindy B, SOR with Christy, Axe, Kathy Bates, Arkansas Living, Nana's Crazy Life, Stringfield Ridge Farm, Grillin' and Chillin' with Mojo, Backbeat Rhythm, Susie Jacobson, Food by Faith, Garden to Table, Lone Stars Lounge, Will It Grow, Pigskin Blitz, Operation Capsaicin, Purple Tea Bear, Kelly Ray, Bailey Nutcher, Cat on the Prowl Creations, Full Battle Junkie, Zombie Prepper, Apocalyptic Lake Ferry, Roy Hayes, Dutch Off-Grid Homesteading, Best Yet Journey, JFM, Andel Homestead, Blue Farm, Matt J, Laura B, Mountain Grandma, Idaho Garden Girl, Gear Grinding 19, Gardner Leah, Simple Crazy Life, Digs Outdoors, The Bee Lady Apiary, Virginia Roots, Trish Wiley, Wiley Living, Bountiful Harvest Abbey, K&A's Family Homestead, Gardner Josh, M. Piedmar, Mrs. Cosmic Cultivators, Cameron Hyssop, Cosmic Cultivators, Red Road Homestead, Mary Ranch, Chatio, Backwoods Law, Heaven's Essentials, Big Chap, Skinner Farms, Hedgehog Homestead, Warren Lewis in the house, Ramblin' Rose Homestead, Sandra Moody, Prep for It, The Big Blue House Homestead, Mama Bear Prepping, Bob 942, Viper, Buttercup, Gray Man Prepping, Garden State Gardener, Guardian Prepping, A Fish is in Lowe's Life.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this edition of Wide Family Farm. How's everybody doing out there? And thank you so much for being here tonight. We have Tammy here from Rebel Canners, so I'm super excited to have her on the show and just talking about canning and whatever. It's going to be fun. So thank you all for being here tonight. Let's see who we all have in the side chat, shan't we? Carpenter's Self-Reliance, thank you for coming in. Gardner Josh, Monty, Bruce, Lewis, thank you for being here. Jay, Camp Patton Family Compounds, Laura, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Steve, Corso Trainers is lurking. Hard to keep up on the phone. Yeah, it is. It's hard when you're on your phone and doing this. How to Garden, thank you so much. Fishes and Loaves. Jay and Prepper 101, hi. And thank you so much, y'all, for being here. Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and bring Tammy up. And here she is. Yay!
Hey!
Here. Appreciate ya. And I appreciate you. I was supposed to have SOR with Christy. I don't know what happened. So thank you so much for filling in and taking her spot. So I appreciate that at the last minute.
Anytime.
So, appreciate it. So how are you doing tonight? And I'm sorry that you fell asleep. It's so crazy. I'm so sorry.
I am like early in the morning riser and early to bed. And so I took a 15-minute nap and the alarm was supposed to be set for 9:15 and went off at 9:30. Sorry.
It's okay. It happens all the time. So I get it.
The little man who controls my phone, didn't set it quite right.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so if you guys have any canning questions tonight, now is a time to ask as well. And is Becca here? Or is she?
As
Hey!
always.
What's up?
I'm in the background even eating M&Ms.
Aha. Okay.
That crunch you
get
hear
it.
is not me.
I was eating onion rings as your intro came on. I'm like, oh man, Dad, I dropped one.
Oh my god.
Tammy's like, shh. I'm sorry.
But you're not muted anymore.
No, I had walked over to the neighbor's house because her mom made banana nut bread.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So we got banana bread.
Yeah, our neighbors she makes pumpkin bread. And
I've
it's
made that
like
before.
really good. It's like moist like banana nut bread though. And it's really good. She's Mennonite, so I don't think she would give her recipe away. But yeah, it's pretty good. She's made us a couple things from scratch. She's made us English muffins from scratch. And she brought those over with her homemade strawberry jam. So we got some of that on time, and then what else? She's just made us pumpkin bread, all different kinds of stuff, and it's so nice of her to do that, you know. So I always worry about what they think of me and my husband because we are loaded with tattoos and stuff, so they probably, you know, but so far they've been pretty cool neighbors.
I have a neighbor out at the property who's Mennonite, and she is really nice. I really like her.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so far they've been really awesome. And when my husband, he had that surgery on rotator cuff surgery. Hey, Virginia Roots, thanks for coming in. He had that rotator cuff surgery and he couldn't do anything. And we did that chipdrop.com to get, you know, wood chips of, you know, all different kinds of stuff. So we had this huge pile of wood chips and he couldn't move it. So they had their youth group come over. So it was I had a ton of Mennonite and Amish kids in my front yard. They moved that whole pile of wood chips for us, which was pretty awesome. So
that is awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, I think homemade toe jam. Oh, thank you. Prepper 101. But yeah, so hey, Homesteader Wolf, how have you been? It's good to see everybody. I'm doing an after party. Just had that surgery. Oh, Julie, my husband's arm is okay now, but for 8 weeks it was horrible. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't move anything. And then his arm for weeks was strapped to his side. He had this thing underneath him, which would, like, as a man, it probably wouldn't be, it's not near as bad as a woman, but he had this thing strapped around him. And it was the ice machine. He had a machine that was hooked up to it, and you constantly filled it with ice. And it would just circulate and through his arm and stuff. Well, it was so tight. It was like with his swelling and stuff, it was causing issues. So we had to take it off. Yeah. So it was pretty bad. But yeah, so it's good to see everybody. Thank you for being here tonight and hanging out with us. If you aren't familiar with Rebel Canners, you need to go over there, watch some of her stuff. She is trying to get monetized. So I don't know how many hours you have left. How many hours?
Well, I lost 3, so now I need 803.
803 hours is what she needs, and she can get that in a couple weeks. She can do it. So head on over there and watch some of her stuff, please.
And I've been putting out a couple videos a day. The one coming out next is really cute. I did morning chores at Jen's. So if you're into goats and cats and farm chores, it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Josh, for putting that link out there. I appreciate ya. Hey, Emma, thanks for coming in. Doing good.
Thanks, Gil.
Yeah. This winter's been rough. Today it was 50 degrees today here, which was awesome.
It was warm here too.
Yeah. It rained on and off, and so all of the snow and ice was melting, and it's slushy, muddy muck.
Our front yard is a mess.
It didn't rain here as much as what they said it was going to. But yeah, it was, it was nice. So we are remodeling our bathroom, so we had to go to Menards, and we were there last night, but we thought they closed at 10, and we showed up about 14 minutes to 9, and they closed at 9. I was like, shit. I'm like one of them people now. That's why I told my God, because I used to work at hardware stores. So.
Oh, you hate those. You hate those that walk in 30 minutes before, because you know they're not going to get done shopping and through the checkout in time.
Yeah. So we had to get a faucet. That's the thing that's been holding us up, is we're not putting in a bathtub. It's just shower. It's a big shower with sliding glass doors. And so we had a hard time finding just the shower and the controller. Everything else had the spigot for the tub. We didn't need that. And then when we did find it, it didn't match anything. So we were we were having issues. And then Freddie said, cool. Oh, he's been talking today. He's been talking. I'm so excited.
Ooh.
Guys,
yes.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. I'm happy,
I had Nessie, her little girl, the littlest one, and I had her out where I babysit the other kids, and I was playing our last live together from my channel where Becca was in it like this, and she kept going, hi mom, to the TV.
Yeah. So
figure out what Becca answer back.
What was I gonna say? Anyway, so we were at Menards. We grabbed the faucet thing, and then we ended up just having to leave. But there was multiple things that we needed to get. So then again today, here I was at Menards. I'm surprised they don't know me by name by now. So hey, Sita, what's up?
Those are my favorite stores, when they know you by name.
Yeah. But
I think
you know what?
Walmart.
Oh, go ahead.
I think Walmart is my place, because I always go to the same cashiers. They know me by name. And today I walked through one of their line, and it was Pete's line. And he is dating one of my really good friends. And so I'm joking around and talking with him and discussing some things that, you wouldn't normally tell a cashier. And the lady behind me is just kind of looking at me, and I'm like, I know I'm outside the store.
She's lying though. That's not her store.
No, my store, Speedway.
Yes, her store's.
Yeah, so
they messed up.
Go ahead.
They messed up my fountain pop tonight, and so she called them back and told them to fix their machines.
I did.
Don't you hate that though, when you go somewhere and you get pop or something and it's just a hair off? It's so disgusting.
It was diet in my regular pop.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the fountain part of it, the CO2.
No, it was the fountain, but I'm pretty sure they hooked up a diet cartridge to the
oh, okay. So
their diet syrup to the regular.
Not what you're expecting, and it totally tastes off. And
but yeah, so today we ordered everything for the bathroom, the sliding glass door, and I'm nervous about ordering anything right now with the way things are going, so we shall see. It's a little crazy out there. And we have Shawnee Shav has a question. Does Rebel Canners have a video for canning enchilada sauce I could search for?
I don't have an enchilada sauce, but I do have taco sauce. But enchilada sauce is on my list. It's coming. I just haven't done it yet. The red sauce that goes on enchiladas. Yes,
yeah.
I need to do that.
I've never made my own.
I tried it once, but I really like the tomato-y kind that you buy in the store. And the traditional that I had found was not that. So it was brown, and it was not good. I did not like it.
Yeah.
Hey, Garden State Gardener. Thank you for coming in, Joe.
Homestead Wolf. I don't like going to town on the local butcher. Yeah, I wouldn't go to town either.
Yeah. Everybody knows your name.
Yep.
And wants to be your best friend.
Yep.
And do you have any sales this week? Just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I don't make my own sauce. I usually just buy sauce in a can because typically I don't have time for that. But I guess if I wanted to get special, and feel like, make my own sauce. But Joe,
one thing
go ahead.
I crap out on. I don't make my own sauce either. But I make my own filling. I'll usually stick my chicken in like the Instant Pot or the Crock Pot, and then I put like cream cheese and a bunch of other stuff in with it.
Yeah.
I have a funny story about enchiladas.
Sure.
So my son was 15 and I made enchiladas for the first time in his lifetime. And his dad makes a lot of spicy Mexican type food or Tex-Mex food. And I had never cooked it. And he's like, how did you do this? You don't know how to make spicy food. And I'm like, yeah, when I was pregnant for you, I started having gallbladder problems. Remember, I got it out 6 months ago. I can make spicy food now. I just couldn't eat it for 15 years. It's your fault. It's all your fault.
I make it from scratch and use frozen cherry tomatoes. That is a good idea. That is something I didn't even think of.
That sounds good.
And we're planting cherry tomatoes this year because Miss Jackie is absolutely... My kid, forget bringing her home candy from the store. You bring her home a thing of freaking tomatoes, she's gone. You will not see her until that container is empty.
Everyone.
Yep.
Everyone. Those little ones that are like,
the cherub tomatoes
not
or whatever.
The little tiny flat ones, the ones with the big round tops that are just full of them. Yeah.
Bruce is right. He said Fred would not have survived Tammy's because my son loves enchiladas. So, yes.
I do too. I just couldn't eat them for 15 years of my life.
See, and my dad has like this disease where spices bother him. And so like all the food my mom always cooked was very bland. Like most of the time we had like salt and pepper that would be in the cupboard. And then we would have like garlic and onion powder. That was all your choices. Like that was it. And so, I mean, a few odds and ends like parsley and stuff like that. But she wouldn't put seasoning on anything when she cooked it. And so I have learned to experiment, and we have spices up the wazoo. So
it doesn't help that I'm staying here, and my name is Tammy, and I have a spice collection addiction problem.
I took my husband to the store the other day, and I was like, okay, we're going through Sam's Club, and he's like, oh, I want this one, and I want this one, and I want this one. I'm like, we don't need 5 different spices. He's like, but I want to try them. And then I'm like, well, you might as well grab the whole collection. There's 2 more.
That's
so
funny.
We come home and we're like, Tammy, look what we bought. We bought this, and we bought this, and we bought this.
And I'm like, but you already have that one in the cupboard I got.
Right.
She's like, he wanted it. It's okay.
Right.
I think the one spice that I had to go to the grocery store tomorrow, I think, because we ran out of milk and stuff. But one spice I really, really like that I can't do without is the everything bagel seasoning.
Oh, I do have a recipe for that on my channel. And if you make it yourself, it's a lot cheaper.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Usually it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. If you go to the Amish grocery where you get the bulk.
Yeah.
You can make it so much cheaper than you can buy it. They really like more than double the markup on that.
Yeah, Cosmic, I have a spice addiction too. I usually make my own. I do, because whatever I grow from the garden, I use my basil and oregano all the time for stuff. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, Cosmic Cultivators. Becca can vouch for me. I had 3 spice cabinets at my old house. And that didn't count the ones in bulk in the pantry storage.
Yeah.
It was.
Thanks for lurking, Gunslinger. Appreciate ya.
Mrs. Dash is very good. I like the garlic and herb Mrs. Dash.
Yeah, that's usually what I buy. All the spices and seasoning. Yes.
I can't take a picture and compare because I sold the house and they have since. I told him when he was going to renovate. I sold it to my cousin. I'm like, if you renovate, I need my spice cabinet because you literally opened the door and it had a rack behind the door. Then it had a rack that sat in. You pulled that out and there was a third rack behind it. And I'm like, I want the spice cabinet. And he's like, oh, no, I'm keeping all the cabinets, blah, blah, blah. And then he ripped them all out.
And a lot of them fell apart.
And I ripped them out, I mean, ripped them out down to pieces. And so it wasn't savable. I was very angry. That was a deal. We had a deal.
It's sad. I'm very particular about things. And since we've been really ripping out stuff, taking stuff from the bathroom, I realized that I've become a hoarder for specific things. And I got to the point where I just like started tossing stuff out. I'm like, I can't believe I kept this. I can't believe I kept this.
If you talk about this, I'll mute you.
It's crazy.
I was gonna say you haven't craft room.
What?
I muted her.
I was like, she hasn't seen my craft room, and then she's like, I'm gonna mute you, and I'm like, I'm talking about my craft room.
You shall not talk about my old house. Not in hoarding in the same sentence.
My old house, I had a craft room. I had a sewing room, and I loved it. I had all my stuff in there, but this house, that was a 3-bedroom house, and this house is a 2-bedroom. So this is my bedroom / my office for this. So eventually Fred will be here and I will be upstairs. So my schedule will probably have to change. I don't know, but I don't plan on Fred sleeping without me anytime soon. So he sleeps upstairs. It's in his separate bed in a crib, but it's with me. So
I always kicked my kids out because they wouldn't stay asleep. After 7 months, they would not sleep. They would be up in the middle of the night. It'd be like 2:00 in the morning. They'd be like, "It's party time." I'm like, Mom's going back to bed.
Yeah. So one thing I have to say is he's a good sleeper. I put him to, usually, well, he's up right now, but typically I put him to bed by 9:30 and he's out. Put him to bed. But the thing is, like, he'll wake up at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning or whatever sometimes. Sometimes I'll do that and I'll take him downstairs and we'll sleep on the couch and he'll fall asleep till like 8 or 9, which is fine.
My kids are pretty decent sleepers for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think with them all being in the same bed, because they all sleep in the same room and then the same bed, I think they've kind of gotten into the habit, like, where one wakes up and then they wake up all the rest of them.
Yeah.
And then they're arguing and they're pinching and fighting and yelling and screaming. And I sleep through it because I'm on the other side of the house, but somebody else does not sleep through it because she shares a wall with them.
The wall they kick and pound on.
Yeah.
When they're fighting with each other.
We want to build like a custom like triple bunk bed in their room. So
Joe,
thanks, Bob.
Joe from Garden State Gardener said, "Rubble canners, what was your favorite thing to can when you were a kid?" My earliest memory of canning is canning salmon with my mom, and that is fabulous. That is like nectar of the gods food. I wish I had a can. That would have been 50 years ago, and if I had a can of that 50-year-old salmon, I'd eat it right now in front of you, and I wouldn't share. So, that would be it.
That's cool.
Bob's a good mom cookie.
I saw that. Thank you, Bob. You're awesome. Totally forgot what I was gonna say now. Yeah, I wish I would have had that figure in my life growing up that wanted to can and do that kind of stuff. I just didn't. My grandmother did, but I think she just got out of it eventually and stopped doing it. Stuff like that. So I never really seen her do it or anything like that. So,
and there just comes a point where you're tired and you don't feel like doing it. And like my mom got to that point, she's like, she was looking at the price comparison, and for a while it was cheaper to buy from the store than it was to can it yourself. Well, we're back to the point where it's not cheaper anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and so I was adopted And so like my birth family was very much like, you know, they canned, they preserved. My grandma had a root cellar in her basement. You know, that was their thing. Like they had a whole kitchen down there. They would do up tons and tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And like by the time I had kind of came along, because I was such a late in life baby, you know, everybody had kind of gotten out of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the people, even my adoptive mom was always like, I can't can anything because we don't have the storage space. And I mean, that house, if they would have, like, they did redo it and add on, but they're really, Tammy's been there. There's not a lot of storage space in that kitchen.
Yeah.
And so it would be really hard to store those kinds of things. And there's not a basement or anything. So there just wasn't space to do that. And so, she didn't can, and then like her parents canned and they lived on a farm, but by the time I was born in 90 and my grandma died 5 months later in August, and then her dad died 2 years later. So I, you know, and they were in their late 80s by the time they passed away. So like I don't have any memories of them doing any of those things where a lot of my cousins did. So my birth mom actually taught me how to make jams and jellies when I was about 18ish. And that's my first, like, that was my first canning stuff. And like, she's still around. She lives in Kentucky. And I mean, I talk to her and stuff, but we're not like, I'm not going to go down there to can with her.
Right.
So, but like, I can remember going to their house and they would make jams and jellies and she would can grape juice. And so I had some knowledge of people canning, but it wasn't a big thing. Like my family didn't do it.
Yeah. It's so weird, Becca, that you and we have a lot in common. Because I was adopted as well. So it's just like...
I did not know that.
Yeah. We have
Do you know your birth family then?
No. Oh, I know some of them, not all of them. And,
see, my situation's a little weird because my birth mom and my adoptive mom were cousins. And then my birth dad and my adoptive dad were brothers. So no matter if I would have been adopted or not, I would have had the same last name. And so like my dad's family, like my birth dad and my adoptive dad obviously had the same family because they were brothers. Yeah. And so like I would have had, like my family was all the same on that side.
Yeah.
And so like my mom's side was just a little bit different. And so, and plus I was the youngest. Somebody said they were in a sandy place in 90. I actually had two brothers in Desert Storm. So I have brothers that are in their 50s. Wow. And yeah. So,
same sandy place.
Yes, they were in the same sandy place. So it's kind of it's different. I was the youngest. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm the youngest out of 5.
Yeah, it's me too. There's 5 of us.
This is kind of freaking me out a little bit. You're not missing somebody, are you?
No. I have 2 twin sisters that are older, and then I have 2 brothers.
And they're all full siblings.
No. Mike and Eric are half.
Well,
okay.
At one point in time, I did have my cousin, my real cousin, James. He was coming. He was going to come up on here. You know, he saw that I was live, but he had issues. So issues with his computer. So he didn't come up here. But he's the one that I found him on 23andMe. And he was in the military. You know, he
Yes, John.
wanted to help me as much as he could. I actually came across, I got to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore. I got too emotional. So I stopped. And so now I want to do it, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's hard. Like I grew up knowing I was adopted and like knowing that I had siblings and stuff.
Yeah.
So like for me, it wasn't a stranger thing. Like I always knew. And like I don't ever remember a time not knowing that I was adopted.
Yeah.
But it's weird also because like there's like I went straight home from the hospital with my adoptive parents. Like they released me like 24 hours after I was born. Mm-hmm. And like my mom or my birth mom still had to stay because she'd had a C-section.
Yeah.
And so like she had to stay a couple of days longer, and the hospital didn't even want to release me to my adoptive parents. And she's like, no, I'm signing her out and they're taking her. And so like, it wasn't like I never knew any other parents or anything like that. So like when my mom was alive, I'd be like, well, you know what it's like? And she'd be like, no, I've never been pregnant. And I'm like, oh, crappy, that's right. Or I'd be like, well, you had me. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, duh. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
So it was actually kind of cool. Oh, thank you, John. Because my adoptive dad had never been in a delivery room, because with me being adopted and her having a C-section, he wasn't in there. And so he actually got to be in the delivery room with me when I had my oldest. Mm-hmm. And he struggled with it he wasn't going to do it until like the morning that I went into labor. He decided he was going to come up. And like, he cried. He's like, that was the most beautiful thing. I'm so glad you included me. Like, he was so excited and so happy. And he's actually my birth partner this time if my husband can't make it. So,
Aww.
But yeah, he's really wonderful.
Yeah. I always knew I was adopted. My brother and I were both adopted. My brother looks nothing like me. My brother actually looks Filipino. He's really dark skinned, but he's not. He actually all of his life kind of thought he was Filipino. And then he did a DNA test and found out that he was just German. Very dark German. But yeah, so me and my brother look absolutely nothing alike. But it's funny because we both favor our parents. Like, I was blonde. Well, I'm not blonde now. Those blonde hair, blue eyes, and my mom is blonde hair, blue eyes, and then my dad had dark hair, and my brother had dark hair. So we like kind of favored each other in a weird way. Hey, Skinner Farms, what's up, cousin? He's not really my cousin, but I have a lot of, I don't know. I have a lot of family from Indiana, and a lot of family with the last name is Skinner, as well. So we just assume that we're cousins. So we always call each other cousins. But
I will look that up for you. You know, I've done it for other
people.
People.
I want to do it. I need to find the time. And then 2, I need to emotionally prepare myself, because I found out some not so nice things about my family, in newspaper articles about them owning meth houses, stuff like that. Kind of threw me for a loop. So I just needed to take a step back. And at that time when I was really searching, I was pregnant too. So I just had a lot of emotions.
Yeah, there's some stuff in mine that's not too great either. And there's some reasons that I will not discuss. I mean, I'll tell you about them in some other time, like if we ever see each other in person. I'll explain my reasonings for my adoption and stuff, but it was a good thing that it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, like, I honestly look up to my birth mom because she made a choice in a situation that she was in. And it was probably she said it was one of the hardest choices she ever had to make. But in the end, it turned out better than what she ever could have hoped that I would ever have.
And my kids are adopted. My last 3 are all adopted. And so I really respect, my one son's birth father could have got custody, and he chose to keep the kids together.
Yeah.
And I really respect him for that decision. And it cannot have been easy for any of them in that decision. And, it's just the way it is. And I feel a lot of respect and gratitude that I got the kids.
Well, I'm 6 out of 5 brothers, or 6. I have 5 brothers and sisters. 2 of them had been given up previous to me. And then I believe she kept the other 2. So I don't believe we all know about each other. It's very well we couldn't. I have their birth dates and everything. I just don't have names. I have my mom's birthday and everything. I just don't have names. So.
You realize that we'll talk after this, but it would not take me very long to figure this out.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Seconds. The longest it's taken me to figure out somebody with their DNA done has been 1 year. It took me 1 year. I have a couple I'm working on right now, but I found my cousin's cousin I was looking for her, and she had used 7 different aliases, one of which was a man, and I found her in less than a week, and the private detective they paid $30,000 to couldn't find her at all.
Yeah. Huh. Something I need to definitely. I gotta look up. Find my papers. I have an adoption letter. There's just little things, and I found my second cousin. So the thing is our families are so screwed up. Okay.
What family isn't?
Yeah, but 8 brothers and sisters. Several from a previous marriage. So it's like
But
all messed up.
You've done your DNA. It won't be that hard.
Yeah.
It'll be very your DNA. That's the thing about DNA. DNA doesn't lie, ever.
Yeah.
So people lie. People lie about genetics, about where they were, when they were, who they were
Hi,
with.
Buttercup. Hi,
But
sweetheart. We've missed
DNA
you.
never lies. You know,
Sweetheart, we love you, and I understand why you cannot be here. So we love you. Thank you for showing up. We love you, Buttercup. And all this time, she's been a member, and she's been sick this entire time. She's such a sweetie. Buttercup is from Ireland, by the way, you guys.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew she wasn't from here. We have such a wonderful international group.
We do.
Oh, we do, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
I grew up like that. I had exchange students and stuff live with me from different countries, and so I've always been like that. So,
and I didn't have any exchange students, but my parents were always friends with missionaries that were in other countries or from other countries. So we always had people in our house from all over the world. And, yes, labs can mess up during the analysis. I do agree. Labs can mess up. But if you can check that, and the second time around, it'll be different, then it's different. But, when you're doing a DNA search for somebody, certain surnames will come up over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And then you investigate and you put them together, and the problem with the one that took me so long is everybody had been adopted for 4 generations. So I kept looking at their adopted families for the answer when really they were adopted, and I couldn't find their birth families. That's the only reason the one took me over a year.
Yeah. I have a lot of cousins and stuff that were adopted and stuff like that. So it's a complicated situation.
Yeah. In this one I did for my 4th cousin, every single man in her paternal side had been adopted out for 4 generations. Wow. They had not kept one of them in 4 generations. So I kept searching. Yeah. It was a mess up.
One thing I did learn is that I'm 5th cousins to Loretta Lynn.
That is awesome.
My husband is related to Elvis Presley.
Oh, nice.
His great-grandmother was a Presley? Wasn't it his great-grandma?
Yes. His great-grandma was a Presley. She was first cousins with Elvis.
I'm also related to the Cashes.
Very cool.
Yes. And I have a lot of Cashes in my DNA. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until my cousin told me. He's like, we're 5th cousins with Loretta Lynn. And my one cousin grew up next to her her entire life. So they knew each other. It's crazy when I heard that kind of information, because I have a musical background and I sing and stuff like that. So when I hear stuff like that,
you're very good at singing too.
It kind of, it's weird, like to hear that kind of stuff. So,
well, some of those things are genetic. I mean, you can't take that out. And there's also, and they're just now trying to investigate kind of how this works, but there's also such a thing as genetic memory, which is kind of a wild thing to think about. That
I don't hear an echo. Is there an echo? I hope
I've heard it a couple times like a little bit of one, but it's very, very faint.
I don't know.
I'm sorry,
At
guys.
least my airplane isn't taking off tonight.
Yeah. My husband talked about that today. He called it your Red Baron.
Well, what is it?
When your fan kicks on this computer,
yes.
it sounds like I'm at the airport about to take off in my single engine plane all by myself as the pilot. I'm in a one-seater that just like revs up.
It's an old computer, okay?
It's okay.
It works.
Here.
I didn't even see that at first. I was like, what?
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry if there's an echo, guys. I can't.
I try to, like, when I'm in other lives where there's a panel, I try to mute when I'm not talking.
Yeah.
Well, and right now the furnace is running, so
yeah.
I don't think you can really hear it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can hear a slight echo because my husband has it on his phone, so I don't know.
I have it playing on the computer next to us, but
that's not an echo. That's in stereo, guys. I'm in stereo.
It says there's 28 watching us now, so you know.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, when and if you guys can, please go over to the Rebel Canners and watch some of her videos. Help her get her hours in, please.
Well, I laughed because I usually lock the craft room because I have paint and stuff out and like scissors and all sorts of goodies that the kids can get into. So I lock it because I don't need them getting in here in the middle of the night. And so I had put Rebel Canners on a loop. And then like I come in here today and I hadn't come in here at all yesterday. So I unlocked the door to come in here and YouTube's still playing. I'm like, the computer didn't go to sleep.
I just want to point out here, you may be on the bad side of Law and Order, but Lyndon B. Johnson kissed me because I was the cute baby photo opportunity. Just saying.
For real?
Yeah. My parents were at a convention in Florida, and the Secret Service, one of my 3 times I've hang out with the Secret Service just for fun, but I don't remember this one because I was just a cute little bald-headed baby. And they said, stand right there. The president is coming through. Don't move. So my parents stood there, and lo and behold, or vice president, lo and behold, he came through, and it was the vice president. I think it was Lyndon B. Johnson when he was vice president. And he came through, and you know, all the cameras going, he kissed me, picked me up and kissed me and gave me back to my parents. Back in the baby kissing days when it wasn't, wasn't
hair sniffing.
Wasn't hair sniffing. I didn't have any hair. Sorry.
It's okay. That's hilarious.
Bad Rebecca.
Anyway. Do I need to go to timeout now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Do not say anything bad about anybody.
It's okay.
I didn't say anything bad.
No,
but
that's fucking hilarious. I mean, come on. If you don't have a sense of humor.
Right.
That's funny. But I've been on Ancestry ever since I got off Chris's live. I'm like, okay, how does this fit? And I can't find anything about him because he's so protected. So usually I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, I did 23andMe.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I would love to get together with you and talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Buttercup. That's very nice of you.
I do like that top. She's got a good point.
Honestly, I haven't worn this in years. I used to wear this to rock concerts when I used to go to rock concerts, and I haven't been out of the house in a long time to go to anywhere. So I'm like, why not?
It's kind of like perfect for your late night.
Ooh, yes.
It looks like it's velvety.
It is. It's velvet.
Soft.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to let my dog outside because he's barking.
Fishes. He's my cousin. My cousin, Fishes. He's my cousin. Did I tell you that Chris Wyatt is my cousin? Yeah. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. He was doing this thing about this house in New York, and I'm like, wait, that's my ancestor's house. Wait a minute. And he's talking about how he's related. I'm like, wait a minute, that's my grandfather's house. Wait a minute, we're cousins. I had just found that like a year ago too, because I had finally taken that site back. So it was before I went to New York. I mean, I went to New York before I discovered that. So now I got to go back to New York so I can go there. So
why not? We need a bus.
More like ninth. He's more like my ninth cousin, I think. But I can't find any information.
Legal.
Totally legal. Thanks, fishes. Oh. Wait till the late night live. Wait till the late.
I love talking about this stuff with you guys. I love talking about all that kind of stuff. So
I love to do ancestry. I love to do genealogy. I love to do other people's genealogy. My sister did ours, and so it's no fun. It's all done. So I really like to do puzzles.
She looked up a lot of my husband's stuff because he was interested in it, and come to find out, he has a lot of like Indian ancestry, and it was kind of cool because, like, in Tammy's experience, Indian lines you can't really trace because a lot of people got rid of their Indian lines because they didn't want to be Indian.
Well,
Native American.
You don't want your kids taken away from you. You're not Indian anymore. If you can pass for white, you pass for white. That's what happened in my family. We're not Indian.
Yeah, I was told this is funny though, right? I was told in my adoption letter that I was Irish and Native American, right? I get my DNA test back. And it says I'm Irish, German, French, and English, but more so 60% Irish and English and 40% German and French. So,
horse thieves.
There's no Native American in there.
We're not going to discuss why my McNeil ancestors had to come to America. Okay, so we're not discussing horse thievery at the moment, but there is a reason that everybody in my family is very much attached to horses. Some of them are even ours.
So, but yeah, he has a lot of Indian blood in his line.
And it wasn't just like, oh, I have one ancestor. He's like 2/3 Native American.
Yes.
Well, and everybody always said, like, when our babies are born, they're always so red. And they're like, I don't understand why your babies are so red. I don't understand why your babies are so red. And I looked at him after we were researching his stuff, and I'm like, well, that explains the red skin.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, because he thought he was only Native American on one line, and he's actually Native American on 5 generations.
Oh, wow.
5 ancestors, including the Native American side that's the same as the Presleys, Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Black feet. My children are Blackfeet. And that's why I'm so good. Yeah, I'm going to tote my own horn here. But I'm very good at Native American ancestry because I had to learn how to do it for the kids to find theirs.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy that just came in here is 1/16, and half of it's Blackfeet and the other half is Cherokee.
Nice.
Cherokee is what my husband is too.
Yeah. And Billy's all Cherokee.
Yep. Well, I thought there was one more creature.
Thank you, Buttercup. That's so sweet that you said that. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Oh, what a sweetheart.
The Irish side of my family is the only one I can't trace. Excuse me. Fago does that to me. Apparently my Irish great-grandmother just was dropped here the day before her wedding because there's no records of her before her wedding.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Oh, Jay, it's a lot of fun. I love doing ancestry. I thought I'd be more interesting, but I am completely white bread toast.
Yeah.
Nothing interesting in my
There's somebody
trade.
sneaking in behind you.
That's my husband.
I know.
Yeah, he's sniffing me. What are you doing? Weirdo.
Oh, okay. So I walked over to the neighbor's house because, you know, I wanted to see them, and her mom had made me banana bread, and I wanted to go over there. And so I walk over there, and her husband and her oldest daughter were gone. And so I hid behind the door, and her daughter walks in, and I popped out and scared her. So she starts just screaming bloody murder. It was great. Loved it.
That was sniffing Dustin. That wasn't sniffing Joe.
Yeah, you don't have to study. You just have to be able to spit in a cup, Jay. It's not hard. But it is multiple choice once you get it back, because, like, you're not going to get back what you expect to get back.
I think we're all kind of Heinz 57. Somebody else said that too.
Well, I was surprised because I just was surprised.
Fishes
and lows. You gotta keep that closet badass stuff in the closet. Nobody knows that about me, okay? Oh Lord. My Lanta. It doesn't matter which test to me. I guess if you do the Ancestry one, you have access to other things. 23andMe doesn't. So
it really doesn't matter what test you do because you can share your test on GEDCOM, and everybody, no matter where they have their test done, can share their DNA on there. Please be aware that the police also use that to look for any criminals with DNA evidence.
I don't plan on committing murder anytime soon, so
There was an article,
mine's on there, so obviously I'm not too scared about it, you know.
there was an article I just read where they did rape kits on some women, and the women ended up getting arrested for crimes. They were
Nice.
processing them. It was crazy.
What are you doing?
Looking at something.
But anyway, wherever you have your test done, you can share on there. And so basically every test company you can use against other test companies to find matches that then could lead you to what you're looking for or just help you. But I like Ancestry the best.
Yeah.
Just because that's what I'm familiar with working with.
I am not eating any more onion rings. Never.
I can smell that.
It smells good.
I know, but it'll kill me if I eat it.
I don't know.
Literally. They fried it in the same oil as shrimp. So, like, they're just,
Oh, that
here,
sucks.
you can have this. I bet you'd like it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Homemade too.
Yeah.
Not like the kind you go buy at the store. I actually like cut the onions and dip them myself.
I love shrimp. I love
Me
shrimp.
too.
I almost
do.
had it the other night. I love fish in general. Like fish is so good. But shrimp I love too. I almost had it. We went out to dinner last night. And I almost got it. They have we went to Applebee's, but they have that blackened chicken with the shrimp on top or whatever. I almost got that, but instead I wanted wonton tacos really bad. So I got them. So
I love fishes too, but she's married Baskets. You would still love her. Miss Fried Food. Why can't fish have fried food?
No,
No, fishes is Miss Fried Food.
oh, I don't know.
yeah, it's funny that you say that they're ocean going crawdads, but I don't really like crawdads like in general. Like I don't like I couldn't even look at them. But I love
Backwoods. A shrimp loves to eat shrimp.
You're not talking about me, are you?
He's gotta be.
Are you referring to me being short?
Gil made a point about the Ancestry test and having things. I mean, with any lab, things go wrong. So there are times when they're not. So you can also go back again and check. But
Bye, Buttercup.
most of the time, they're
Good
right.
night.
Everybody has a few mix-ups, but most of the time, they're right.
Okra. My husband loves okra.
I like
I
okra.
think it's gross. My sister loves it. My birth mom loves it.
It's really good for you.
I don't like it.
Yeah, we grew it one year, but I didn't really eat a whole lot of it. I don't really, you know what? The only time I think I've ever really liked it is if it's deep fried, and really that's not even supposed to be good for you, so I can't really judge if I like it or not. Thank you all for coming in tonight. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you all.
And please, please, please go and watch Tammy's stuff. Let's get her monetized.
Applebee's and stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love Applebee's.
I like Applebee's too. I'm a huge French onion soup lover, and I think by far they have the best. Although when we honeymooned in Gettysburg, I do have to say there were some places in Gettysburg that probably had the best French onion soup I think I've ever had in my life.
That is someplace I want to go back again. I've been there twice now in my life, and I
Yeah.
would like to go. I would still go back again in a heartbeat.
It was beautiful. I'm a huge fan of the fall and the leaves and stuff, and we got married in October, and the leaves were turning, and it wasn't too cold. It was still kind of warm, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful there. I would go back in a heartbeat. And we stayed at a bed and breakfast, and I loved that. I'm a huge history fanatic, in case anybody hasn't figured that out.
The first time we went just some average day of the week in the summer. I have no idea when. And we were like the only ones there. So you really didn't get to see a whole lot but you didn't have to wait in line for any of the monuments or to see anything.
Yeah.
The second time I went back was 2017 when my daughter graduated from law school. We were headed out to New York. We stopped at Gettysburg on the way out, and it was July 4th, like the day July 4th.
Oh, and it's such a busy town, downtown and stuff. I imagine you guys had a hell of a time.
No, we went through the battlefield, just like drive through, because my youngest daughter had never seen it, and my sister and I were very big into history. The way you learn history is hands-on. You go to these places. They were doing reenactments everywhere.
Oh,
and
I love reenactments.
At one of the stops, the guy was missing, but he was the commander from Michigan reenacting. They're like, you have to wait here, because we had just stopped because they were there in their beautiful ball gowns in front of this gorgeous mansion.
My favorite era of time.
And so we just stopped to talk to the reenactors for a minute, and so they're like, just wait, he'll be back. He's got his horse and everything. So we waited there. We wound up not waiting for him to come back because we were there for like an hour talking to the reenactors, and they were talking to her and explaining what roles they were playing and who they were playing and it was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
I have a friend, my birth mom actually ended up having this high school student come and stay with her in high school. Or when she was in high school. And she lived with them for a year, and she just graduated from college. Well, got her master's in costume design.
Hey, Mojo.
And so she does a lot of like old costumes. I mean, gorgeous. Mm-hmm. But she prefers like the really, really older, like 1600 time period for like costumes and stuff versus the newer stuff. But she's made some beautiful like Civil War.
There's only certain periods of time that I really like, and I love the Civil War era, the ball gowns and stuff like that. And I love Victorian and the Edwardian era.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
I like
something about that just.
I love the 20s. The beautiful beaded gowns.
It's so hard to use sometimes because yes, I do like the 20s as well.
I do. I mean, I'm not like I wouldn't wear those things, but like to look at them, like those are probably one of my favorite eras for like the beadwork.
Mm-hmm.
I have my grandma's skirt from that era. My great grandma's skirt, the wild woman that she was. You know, she was a bigamist twice. After she got prosecuted for it the first time, she forgot to get divorced and got married again before she got divorced. So she was a serial bigamist. Yeah. She was married 5-6 times that we know of.
Wow.
Only got divorced a couple. The last one died, thank goodness. But.
Somebody said Applebee's is like a half an hour away. It's not very close here either. It's at least a 30 minute drive.
It's 15 minutes from me.
Yeah, it's like
I would be in terrible danger if it was that close to me.
Yeah,
we don't have restaurants. I mean, we have a few, but most of them close very early. So like it's pizza. Like that's what's close by.
Or the truck stop.
Yeah, the truck stop. There's the truck stop, and then I think takeout. Yeah. I don't think there's another sit down restaurant that's open for dinner.
Not right now. Well,
There is a
no.
restaurant that I particularly love to go to. It's in Akron,
still
which is
50
not
miles
too
away.
far from me. It's far, but not that far from me, I guess you would say. And my dad always used to go there. My dad was never a big church goer. Like he never went to church ever.
Bars.
So on
Just bars.
Sundays, he would go to this restaurant and he would call it his church. So, every Sunday he would go to this restaurant and he would meet up with a guy, and have lunch or, and whatever. So every time I go there, it just reminds me of my dad, So I love going there.
Don't
Well,
dress up and go to the truck stop.
No.
It's not that kind of a truck stop. It's not a very big one.
No.
Not at all.
No. I graduated.
There's
with
no
all
truck
these.
stops around here. I think the closest one is in Canton. It's a Love's truck stop. And they
This
don't
is like a
do
Shell
truck
station.
around here.
It's a Shell station that might park 20 trucks. I mean,
Maybe.
it's not
Maybe.
not big at all.
It's just we call it the truck stop because, well, it's right on the highway and it has a diesel gas pump, unlike that a truck can actually go to.
And
unlike
it does
every
have
other gas station. in
it
town.
does have trucks. I mean, you can get other it does have a place to park too, but it's not a very big one. I mean, we're talking like maybe 4 diesel pumps tops, and there's like 6 regular pumps.
Yeah.
So it's not like a big, truck stop that most people would think of. It's a very small one.
Yeah. Bruce, during my wild younger days here in my little podunk town, I wore a dress to the one bar we had that I would go into anyway. That wasn't for like people over 60. And I was asked if I was a hooker just because I had a nice dress on. Yeah. I didn't have jeans on. So my girlfriend and I we both dressed up and put on a dress, which I never did anyway. And we were asked if we were hookers because we had a dress on at the bar. So, I mean, it doesn't take much here.
I wore a casual dress to my bachelorette party and was overdressed at the bar.
I don't think I ever wore a dress to a bar. It's because I'd always get lit and I could just see that it would be so it just I never wore a dress to the bar.
I always wear shorts under my dresses because I am not very ladylike when it comes to dresses.
Well, my friend convinced me to wear a dress. I'm like,
Sure, what's this dress? Who knows?
not very short. It was very my all of my dresses are below the knee. Ever.
Yeah, I won't wear a dress
wasn't
to a
that
bar, especially if I'm going to be drinking. And
I did get a lot of drinks bought for me that night though. I didn't have to pay anything.
I do kind of have a funny lot lizard story though. So I was working overnights at a gas station, and the guy that delivered the gas had showed up in the middle of the night because that's when they delivered the gas. Well, I didn't realize he was coming in, and I was a breastfeeding mom. So I was in the back room doing what I was supposed to be doing to breastfeed my child without the child. And the truck driver came walking in the back door into the back room because that's where the machine was that he had to read before he delivered the gas. Scared the crap out of me. He jumped. He's like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, he's like, "Nope." He's like, "I've seen a lot worse than lot lizards in my life." And I'm like, "Oh God." Comparing me to a lot.
Lori's World.
Hi, Lori's World.
But yeah, he thought it was funny.
Oh, what about a kilt? I don't want to give my location away. Let's just say there's a town near here that every Memorial weekend, every man, woman, and child is wearing a kilt. And I do know the answer to what happens because they're always windy. It's always windy here. Just saying. There's a lot of people I know that I have never wanted to see that side of them.
There's a lot of people out there though when you're wearing a kilt, and yes, my husband has one. He was his family was Sutherland, so he has kilts and stuff. However, I find it most annoying for people that don't wear kilts. They always ask, "So, what are you wearing under your kilt?" They always ask that.
If they have to ask, they're not very Scottish.
Just saying. What I should do is next time they ask, go, "Want to see?" and just look up his kilt.
Yeah.
Maybe she wants to keep that for herself.
Get charged with indecent exposure. Oh my Lord.
Good thing Sean from Alaska isn't in here.
Yeah, you would be laughing for sure.
But I have another story. I paid $850 for my kilt because it's completely original. It is from Scotland.
Nice.
And it is my family's tartan. And it was a competition kilt.
I paid I think it was between $200 or $300 for my husband's first kilt. It's an Irish it's not even a Scottish one. It's an Irish International.
I went to a little shop in Saginaw, and the guy measured. This was for my daughter. It wasn't even my size. I mean, I can't even wear this quilt. It was for my daughter when she was 12 because she did the Highland dancing competitions. Nice. And so she had to have a competition kilt. And so we went to Saginaw, and he measured her, and then he left an extra 4 inches in there. And she took all blue ribbons on her first competition. Macintosh. We're neighbors because I'm McNeil from Inverness Shire.
See, those are things I don't know about myself. So
that's okay. My McNeils aren't actually Scottish. There's not a lot of Scottish in me. I'm actually Viking.
Yeah. So I actually knew how to spell Tammy's last name before I knew Tammy. Because we had a teacher in school that made sure we knew how to spell her name properly. And you better put this and this and this in it or it's not right. She learned that from me. My niece.
Oh my God.
Probably.
Yeah. I was like, okay. You better put the little C and you better put this and and I'm like, it's a name. Like,
and she's adopted. So it's only her adopted name. You should think how the rest of us are who've carried it our whole lives.
She was something else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the chat because I'm going to do a late talk at 11. I held off as long as I could, but I got to do something before I can come back on here.
No problem.
So thank you all for coming in and hanging out with me and Tammy and Becca. I absolutely love you, Becca. Like,
I love you too. I'm so excited.
I can't wait to meet you. It's gonna be.
I'm hoping like we can come to the meetup.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can too.
I'm pushing. We need to have
the baby before here. Or freaking weird, man. But
I'll bring the baby with me. I don't care.
No, I don't want you to have the baby here. Like, I don't want you to give birth here. The hospital, believe me, I gave birth there, and hospital's not that great. So
we'll just cross her legs and drive her to the better one.
There's like the Cleveland Clinic, right?
Yeah, that's about an hour away.
That's still not that. The hospital I'm delivering at's a 50-minute drive.
Oh, okay.
So it's like an hour or so. There's like 3 in between too. That's the sad part.
Yeah,
there's one 2 miles away.
I think in my past life, Jay, I think I might have been a midwife, but not in this life.
Run for the maybe.
All right, y'all. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we will see you at 11. I went ahead and sent all the links out already, so if you want to come in, that would be awesome. We would love to see you. And goodbye for now. And I believe we're still doing a show Friday morning, right?
Yes.
So
Friday noon. Yeah. It's always at noon.
Yep, Fridays at noon. And Homesteader Wolf, oh my God, it was so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, so I wondered what happened to you. So thank you all for coming in, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
See ya.